Yeah, so hi, another ma'am, and hello everyone here, present over here. So we the Marvel team going to present the project information gathering about a particular website. So me, Jayan, Vijayan presenting here, and my co-partner is Emmanuel. So let's move on to the presentation material. So basically, what is information gathering is like if we have a particular victim or a system, we we have to find out the details by which we can just go out and promote a particular information which we gathered, which we can use on various situations like to get the unauthorized access or a particular attack we can do. So finding out all the possible information which is publicly available, that's the main process which is known as information gathering. So there are two types of information gathering, mainly known as passive gathering and active gathering, or it can be also named as passive reconnaissance or and active reconnaissance respectively. So for this project, we mainly chose a website, so that is hack.me website. So actually, about the website, hack.me is a vulnerable website which is mainly designed to designed for a practice mechanism where we can get all the details regarding what are the vulnerabilities, what are the open ports by which we can do for an attack, or we can gather so many information through the process of reconnaissance. So first, we can move ahead with the passive information gathering. So it's actually a process by which getting all the information about a particular domain which is publicly accessible. Obviously, that is through the internet. So here we used mainly the tools for gathering information, mainly WHOIS, NS lookup, DNS lookup, URL void, URL scan IO, then virus total, and MX toolbox. And there are a lot of other uh, tools or websites through which we can also get a lot of information about a particular domain. Okay, let's move with WHOIS. So WHOIS mainly it's a designed website. It's a first basic website where we can get all the information regarding a particular domain. For example, the registrant details, the domain published date, then in what year the domain was established. Okay, so I can show it practically. So here, this is a WHOIS uh, website look and feel. So here we can just go with our website, and here we have to click for the result. So yeah, so we will get the result within short time with all the common or basic details which we can gather about a particular domain. So the domain name is hack.me, and so it has a lot of registrant details like who is the who is a registrar server for that particular hack.me website. So here we could see like the server is GoDaddy, and we can also get the registrar URL, then the updated date. It's not the creation date. Creation date is next behind the updated date. Updated date, like any any recent update, recent details which is updated onto this who is a database. So that will be the updated date. and the creation date is that the domain when is the domain created. It's actually created in 2008, and it recently updated on 2019. And we could also get the basic registrar registration, all the details here in whois. So that is basically whois. And let's move ahead with the next two, that is ns lookup. So ns lookup, mainly what we can say is like, mainly it's similar to whois, but it can fetch the DNS records for a particular domain. We should have a AAAA record, that means authorization and authentication criteria records, CNAME records, TXT records. Actually, these all determine whether a domain is uh, genuine. Okay, let's show it as practically. So here we could see, like, for the hack.me website, the A record is being published, that is a IPv4 address of that particular domain. So we could get easily through this NSLOOKUP IO website the address of that particular domain. So this is a main IP address. The other things, the CNAME, TXT records are null actually, because it's obviously it's not an established domain. So that's the main reason. If we go with Amazon.com, so sorry. So there are some other websites which we could see the CNAME and these AA records. Um, I don't remember exactly what's that domains. Yeah. There are some websites which they will publish the CNAME records and TXT records. Then yeah, exactly, this DNS lookup also mainly fetching for the DNS details, the domain network records. So as you can see the screenshot, which which are all the information about the DNS records and all. Yeah, here the list of DNS record types. Through this DNS lookup also we can get all the DNS related information of a particular domain. Yeah. Then next is URL void. So URL void is a website which actually used by the security analysts for getting particular blacklist, whether for a particular domain, whether there is any blacklist reports, whether any malicious records been identified, and mainly used for cyber threat analysis. So we check URL void. So in this, yeah, we can see like the IP address we can get from this, and domain registration details. And here, if you can see, there is a blacklist report. It will show like any. There are a lot of engines, threat engines, by which it will uh, be remarked as malicious. If a domain is considered as a malicious URL or malicious domain, it will here this blacklist report will show as like it is blacklisted. So we can find out like whether a particular domain is being blacklisted anytime from this URL void. So that is the main purpose of this website. Yeah, again, the same thing happens with URL scan IO. Yeah, hi. So, continuing with that, next one is active reconnaissance. So, active reconnaissance is like it's a process where we can, with the target system, we can directly get into the system. We can get more details from rather than from the passive reconnaissance which we got. So, active reconnaissance. There are a lot of tools by which we can get into the system. Like first one is sublister. So sublister is mainly used to get the fetch of the. Uh, I can show you. So, yeah, sublister. So it will fetch all the commands by which we can get for the details or for fetching the details. So we can use sublister minus. So here, for getting the subdomains, we can use minus d, then connect me to the website. So it will search out on in all the search engines for finding out the subdomain lists. Oh God, uh, something is blocking an email system. Actually, I had fetched the results in my system. In my system, there is a issue with the mic, so that's why. So let's show the results which I got in my system. So here it fetched all the subdomains. So five subdomains it's been fetched through sublister. So we can see here. Okay. Next, next Multigo. Multigo is one of the main tool for fetching all the associated things against a particular domain. So it could be the mail exchange servers, the associated phone numbers, associated domain names. So we can just go with the command multigo. Run. Um, let's see. Let's try it once again. Oh God, what's happening? Yeah, so I go to logged in, finish, and then here we could like just click on the above arrow, and here we have domain. So domain, just drag it out, and here we have to give head dot. can just right click and fetch out, let's say, the mail servers. So it will run in background, yeah, and it will show all the associated mail servers through this Maltigo. So this is one of the main use of Maltigo. So next we have Fears tool. So Fears tool is mainly used to get the host names or specific domains. So like Fears a minus minus domain, the command is like Fears minus minus domain, and then the domain name. So it will fetch out all the associated host names with this particular domain. So that is the Spheres tool. Then netstat. Netstat is a command mainly used to fetch out all the network connections associated with the domain. So let's see through Kali. Netstat. Yeah, netstat. Then minus V is for verbose and minus L for the list. Then hack. So we can just find out all the listening ports or established connections by this domain. So we can get all the inode IDs, then what all the paths. So this is a vital information of a particular domain which a attacker is been looking forward. Then next, the harvester. So harvester is also have some issues with a manual system. So I had fetched in my system like uh, harvester is mainly used to find out some sensitive information associated with the domain. It can be fetched through, there are a lot of search engines. So I had used Google. So the command is like the harvester minus D, then the domain name, then minus B. Then we have to give the search engine name that I have given Google. We can also give Bing, LinkedIn, anything, and then minus L 500. So it will search up to 500 results only. So no IPs has been found in Google related to this domain. No emails found, but there are two hosts associated this to this domain is being fetched by the harvester. Let's move ahead, and then we have the hping 3 tool also, which is mainly used to generate the ICMP or UDP or TCP packets associated with a particular domain. Then dig command is mainly used to find out the DNS entries. It's a basic command, and like host addresses, mail exchanges, it will find out that. I can show you that. And dig hack button. Oh god. Oh, sorry. MX. So it will, yeah, for so it will give like what all the MX records is being associated with hack.me. So yeah. Then nicto command is mainly used to find out what all the vulnerabilities associated to particular domain. So we can get from this one nicto, then minus host. So here it will retrieve all the uh, vulnerabilities that is related the X content type options header is not set, then a root page redirects to this. Actually these are the vulnerabilities which been pointed out by Nicto, so that we can avoid this or fix this so that the attacker will not find a loophole to enter into our domain. So it will give all the vulnerabilities which is currently existing in a particular domain. Yeah. Hi. So we are moving ahead. Yeah. Hi. So we are Moving ahead with the project, overall project setup. So actually we have configured server, and then we have the host, means client. So client, then Windows Server, and then we have the FortiGate firewall, virtual firewall being implemented, and we have the WASA which been initiated here. So let's moving ahead with the baseline. So we have the server where we have created our baseline structure. So we have the Active Directory, then we have the domain name server, and we have the DHCP. So Active Directory is nothing but it's a server which combines all the information of the network configuration. So where admin can easily find the information of the network configurations, and so we can see here from the tools. So yeah, and so in Active Directory users and computers, we can see the overall configuration of the domain controllers. So here, the server main is our main Active Directory. So when we click on that, yeah, we can see like server main marvel.local. We have the DNS name. So in this we have the server 2019's name which we have given here, the users for this Active Directory, and inside this we can like see the computers which is being configured inside this Active Directory, that is Marvel Client 1 and Marvel Client 2. So here yeah, the same thing. So inside we can see the member of marvel.local. So the same will applicable for Marvel Client 2. So that is the main relevance of this Active Directory, which means indicates all the allocated networks inside that particular Active Directory. So next one is like DNS. So that is a domain name server. It's actually is used to convert the request of the names to IP addresses. So it actually controls which server we are trying to access, or an end user is trying to access, by giving the domain name in the particular web server. So web browser, sorry. So it actually controls all the activities or activities inside a server which we are trying to access, or an end user is trying to access. So that is the main use of DNS. So DNS we could see like here we can see the DNS. So inside forward lookup zones, these two will be configured whenever we initially install the DNS. So these two will automatically generate when we install a DNS for the first time. And the reverse lookup zone, we have rightly we can create a new zone for this particular means configuration, like 32.168.192. So there are 4 octets in an IP address. So what the particular benefit of this DHCP along with the DNS is like the clients and the server both will have the same IP range. The same 3 octets will be the same, but the last octet, the fourth octet, will be different. Only the fourth octet will be different. That is the case. So it will be configured like that, so that the server and client will be communicating each other in a proper path. So that's the main advantage of this configuration of DNS. And if we look with the DHCP, so if we look with the DHCP here, so we could see like the server main local is being configured with the DHCP. That's a main server so it's actually configured with the server. So the DHCP and a DNS, so they are both in communication with the client and the server. So I can show you that practically. So we have the Windows Server here. I already told the configuration, the IP address configuration will be configured in such a way that the first three octets will be same for both server and client. Only the fourth octet will be changing when we are when we overall configure the network. So let me take the IP address of our server. So I'm inside the administrator power and just ipconfig. So we could see here the IP for v4 address is 192.168.32.186. So up to this, the three octets should be same for the client also. So we can just check that. So here it's a client, and we can see with the CMD here, and just type ipconfig again. So here, yeah, we can see like the first three octets is same as that of the server, 192.168.32. Then the last octet, fourth octet will be changing 139, and here it will be 186. So that's the difference. And again, we can just check by going to the properties of the client. Here, go to advanced system settings. This administrator. One, two, three. And yeah, just go to computer name and try to change the computer name. So we can see like the computer name is Marvell client, and inside the member of we can see the domain which we have been configured in the server, that is marvell.local. So that's a baseline which we have created. So we have the overall configuration of DNS, DHCP, and Active Directory. And so the next main configuration comes with which we have implemented the Versa. So Versa, the dashboard will look like this, and the FortiGate. So we have configured the FortiGate as well. Let me wait. I can show you with the sorry. The system got hangs for some time. So yeah, as I explained, I have shown all the basic baseline structures. So the next, the VASA configuration and FortiGate implementation will be explained by Ashwin. I am going to hand over the session to Ashwin to handle further. So yeah, here we could see the FortiGate. The FortiGate, which is being allocated to our server. So here, if we go to the interfaces, so interface we have the physical address, which is the IP address, which is being integrated. So it will be explained by Ashwin further. Thanks.
Hello, thank you, Jen, once again for presenting the initial part of the project. Now, I'm here to present the next critical part of the project, which involves the setting up of buzzer, a SIEM, and a FortiGate firewall. So, before configuring buzzer, we have to install or get the image file of buzzer, and that need to be added in VMware. So after adding those, we need to install buzzer agents on the clients and the server, uh, client and the server, for which we have to monitor on buzzer. So after uh, installing those agents to the clients and the server, what we are going to do next is we are going to install a buzzer agent manager, uh, which involves a manager IP and authentication key. So to extract authentication key, what we're going to do is we need to add these PC into the clients, these clients into the buzzer manager. In order to do that, we are running this command sudo var osx/bin /manage agents. So here we can add the agent, and after adding the agent, we just need to extract the key for an agent in order to add that specific agent onto Buzzer's server. So after extracting those, we'll be getting something like this, and we'll get to see the agent name to which it is registered to, and the status of it. So after doing that, uh, what we can do is we need to log into Buzzer here, which is under IP address of 10.0.0.2, and this is the dashboard which we could see under Buzzer. So this is the basic dashboard which we could see in the Buzzer, and here we have total of three active agents, and if we could click here, we could see all the agents which is being connected to this, and the OS are detected automatically as soon as we connect into WhatsApp. So in order to see all the events happening here, we just need to click on WhatsApp on the server or the client to see all the events happening here. So these events are reflected based on the policies which we have configured. So the basic policies which we have configured are auditing all the logons, auditing all the changes in the registries, and or log on and audit policies related to system change files and etc. So this is what we could see over here, and this is the basic dashboard which was offers for us, and there is a major attack possibilities which is here: persistence, privilege escalation, defensivation, initial access, and impact. And here these are on the right, these are the recent events that's been shown over here, which is mainly the changes that has been happening on the registry editor. And here's the compliance, PCI DS, all the compliance related to PCI DSS and so on. And here, the last scan. So what this means is it runs a scan every, I believe it's 2 hours to 1 day, to see if there are any issues that persist, such as auditory change which failed and which success. That is one thing that has been shown here. And if you go to security events, we could see these many events that has been happening in the past 90 days. So as we can see here, we have some programs relating to Windows, then Windows security related uh, events, the authentication successful events, system check, account change, and so on. It is the same representation over here, but the main difference from the first graph to second graph is that uh, these are the total change according to the groups, and these are the individual changes. And here there are top 5 alerts, which consist of Windows logon and log off, audit failure, registry value entry, and system errors. And here are the top 5 rule groups which is given here, and it has been configured according to the change, and it is detected from the server, to be honest, because all the rules group policies are pushed from the server. So whatever changes been made on the client will be reflected, will be sensed by the server and reflected over here. And these are the list of security alerts that has been happening on all the three systems, which is the window server and the client. As you can see, there are uh, times that has happened and the description about it. And for some cases, we could see uh, a ticket or a piece of information over here. For so basically, what how it happens is, for all the security alerts uh, uh, which have the tactics been used, or they think that this specific tactics are used, we have when we click over here on the technique, we could get a description of the tactic and its data sources and so on. So this is very useful information when it comes to uh, the new members, because they could learn what exactly the tactic means and how can it affect the system. So this is all about security events, and moving on to integrity monitoring. So these are the most active users as given as recorded by Vaza, where it consists of 43.54 for administrators, 50% for system, and very small percentage to local services. And these are the same thing which I have repeated on the security events. And again, if we go into module, we have policy monitoring. I don't think we have added policy monitoring over here. So if you go to MITRE attack, we could see all the details relating to the tactics that has been recorded by Waza. So we can get a clear cut representation of what is happening where and at what percentage, to what percentage it is happening. And if you go to regulatory compliance, we could see all the information related to PCI DSS and so on. So it is an advanced level monitoring, we must say, because it gives us every check relating to the compliance, the integrity monitoring, the policy monitoring, and all the security events that's been happening over here. Now we are coming to the next compliance, which is NIST compliance, and again we could see the same almost similar statistics over here, and it is started according to the requirements. And yeah, so this is all about Vaza. I believe this is again the same thing called GDPR, which is it's a regulation policy, General Data Protection Regulation. So it basically means that it's a European standard which is implemented a few years ago to protect the user's data, since there are a lot of leaks happening through the application. So all those can be monitored over here. So that's all about Waza, and next we are going to uh, the FortiGate, which is the virtual firewall being implemented over here. And to configure FortiGate, we just have very few factors to configure in FortiGate. That is assigning a static IP. So we are currently successfully configured FortiGate by by editing the system interface over here. So mainly what all changes that's been happening here is this: we have to set a specific IP to which the FortiGate can be accessed, and we are also configuring a DHCP too, so that the IP address which is assigned to FortiGate will be uh, according to the IP range which we have set. And in order to see FortiGate, we have to log in over here um, in the VMware, and to monitor what is happening on FortiGate. Uh, we are going to Google Chrome to see what all is being monitored. Not here. I'm sorry. So it is, yeah. So this is the main page of the FortiGate, and we are going to move in by logging into the administrating account, and we could see the FortiGate dashboard over here. And the main specialty of FortiGate, of implementing FortiGate, is that there can be a case where the Windows firewall, the inbuilt firewall, will go down due to the attack. So to back that up, we are implementing a separate virtual firewall called FortiGate, so that it will monitor all the incoming attacks coming in, and safeguard the server and the client associated or connected with the server. So as you can see, this is the dashboard where we could see the FortiLink is running, and port 1. This is where our server is being running. So it's a physical interface, and it has the access to ping, HTTPS, SSH, and HTTP. So these are the four basic things which we might require in order to secure our environment, because giving more options to it will makes it vulnerable. So these are the four options which we have kept as of now, and the security is really good in this. And this is the information about the system which we are connected to, and we can monitor the usage of the CPU, the number of sessions happening in a minute, and the memory utilization for the same. So this is the basic version of FortiGate, as there are uh, more capabilities that can be imported into this, such as antivirus, web filtering. Since this runs in free, we couldn't implement this as it requires a license. But for moving to a broad perspective, if you have the license of FortiGate, we can also implement uh, these features to FortiGate: firmware and children updates, intrusion prevention system, antivirus, and web filtering, so that to make sure and improve security. And here there is no data currently uh, because it requires additional capabilities to be installed along with it. And if you go to network, yeah, we could see all the systems or all the port connected to it, and we have additional options here to configure it manually, and we can monitor our performance, and so on. So this is our project so far which we have implemented, and thank you for giving this opportunity to learn about FortiGate, about Wazoo, and creating a network infrastructure, and making the world more secure. Thank you.